Hi guys, welcome to my channel. This is my second vlog video for the Tattooing Mom. I am going to talk a little bit about finding out about my pregnancy and finding out so late. I figured I would start by giving kind of a brief introduction about myself. Not everyone that follows me are people that know me, and I'm hoping that continues to grow. I think I'm already at like 110 followers, so that's really exciting. Thank you everyone who's starting to follow. I hope I can keep you guys entertained. My name's Autumn. I am a tattoo artist for the last 5 years. I've been piercing for the last 10 years, and I've owned my own tattoo shop for the last year. I'm also engaged to the best man in the world, my fiance, Sean. See this beautiful coffin ring here? Gave me that. I just turned 29. I live in a small town of less than 30,000 people in Wyoming. That's super fun. As of the beginning of November, I found out that I am also pregnant. I'm expecting a little boy. I had another doctor's appointment this morning, and they're expecting me a little further along than I even initially thought. Today they put me at 30 weeks pregnant, so I'm expecting sometime end of January, beginning of February. So that's really exciting. It's a little bit intimidating. It's kind of scary to find out that you're pregnant so late in the game, especially because I've never been like a big kids person, so I didn't really even ever think about, oh, well, if I'm ever pregnant, this is what I want, or this is how I plan on raising a kid. I never really considered any of that because I didn't want to have kids. I also didn't think I could have kids. So a lot of the reason that I didn't know so far along is I was diagnosed with PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, a couple years ago. Since I was about 18, I've had maybe 10 periods. I don't have a normal period. I don't have a normal cycle. So there was no like, oh my God, I missed my period, I should take a pregnancy test. No, I think my last period was like 2 years ago. So it kind of changes things for me a little bit. When I was diagnosed with that, they told me that I would probably have to do fertility treatment if I ever wanted to have a child. It's a lot harder to conceive with PCOS. Your hormones are out of balance, you don't have a normal period. It can just cause a lot of issues. So I never thought to myself, oh, I'm pregnant. It was the last thing to ever cross my mind. I never got sick. I never threw up. I never had any of that. One of the only symptoms I did have is I was starting to gain weight. I actually dieted for like a month leading up to finding out I was pregnant because I thought I was just getting fat. No, turns out little baby growing inside there kind of makes you put on some weight. Leading up to me discovering that I was pregnant, I would say maybe 2 weeks before, I did start having some pains towards like the ovary side of my body on the right side here. And because I have cysts, because of the PCOS, I thought, oh, well, maybe one of my cysts is growing and I'm having pains because of that, or maybe it's my appendix. Like, it never fucking crossed my mind that it might be a child. So, and here's the thing, my boyfriend, at the time boyfriend, now fiance, had been planning a trip to Florida for like months for my birthday. And this was like, we were leaving Monday and we went to the doctor on Friday because I was like, oh my God, if this is my appendix or a cyst about to burst, I need to go to the doctor before I like explode on a plane and something terrible happens. So I'm a child and I take my mom to the doctor with me. So me and my mom go to the doctor's office. I tell them what's going on. They ask me if I could possibly be pregnant. But they never like had me do a urine test or anything like that. They just kind of took my word when I was like, well, I have PCOS, I don't think I can conceive. And so they sent me to go get an abdominal x-ray. A little bit upset about that. So they did x-ray me in my abdomen, and I come back and the doctor comes in, white face, and he's like, you're pregnant. We need to send you back over there to get an ultrasound. And like, My head fucking exploded. I never ever even considered that it was a child inside of me. I had felt a little tiny bit of movement, but at the beginning it feels like gas bubbles anyway. So I thought I just had like gas. And with me thinking it might possibly be my appendix, it kind of made sense to me. But mind blown. And thankfully my mom was there with me and could help like calm me down and support me. I went and got Sean, my fiance, from work, and I was like, okay, if they're sending me to get an ultrasound, he needs to be there because this is an important thing for both of us. So I get him from work and tell him, and he was really excited. As much as I didn't want kids, he has talked about wanting kids. This was a really exciting thing for him especially. So we go back and get the ultrasound, and I'm sitting there, they're about to start, and, you know, rubbing the gel on my belly and stuff, and she says, do you want to know the sex? And Sean and I look at each other, and we're like, we're that far along, and she says, oh, honey, you're about 25 weeks. And again, mind blown. So the universe gave me this like 5-month-old baby with absolutely no symptoms up to that point. So yeah, we find out we're having a baby and we're already that far along, and I've skipped all the shitty part without ever feeling shitty, so that was kind of cool. But it was also really, really scary because it's not something I expected. It's a lot of planning, a lot of taking care of yourself, a lot of prepping. Like, we've been having to rush to get a nursery together, like order things like cribs and stuff that I wasn't financially quite prepared for, but we're making the best of it. Making a baby shower happen. Like, all of these things had to happen so quickly. And then on top of that, we were 2 days away from flying to Florida for my birthday trip, which is a good thing that we found out when we did, because I planned on like sitting on the beach and drinking mimosas and going scuba diving and getting new tattoos, and yeah, all that went out the window. But I got to relax and hang out on the beach with my big pregnant belly and eat all the great food. So it was still an amazing trip, and it gave me a second to comprehend what was going on before coming back home and announcing it to the world, to my clients, trying to take a second to figure out how I was going to continue to work, how I was going to continue to schedule people. I'm usually a pretty busy tattoo artist. Usually I'm booked out like about 2 to 3 months on average at a time. So that was another thing that worked out really weird, is I wasn't taking bookings for 2019 before my trip because I wanted to make sure I could plan for all the conventions I wanted to do. Because I really love doing tattoo conventions. I did Cleveland at the beginning of the year. We have a local one we always do. I was going to do Philadelphia. There's a Denver one I do. So I still plan on doing those, but it did kind of screw me a little bit because some of them are going to be at the beginning of the year here. But I didn't schedule anyone because I wanted to make sure I could schedule my conventions and then put people around that. And it worked out because I'm now expecting like right at the beginning of the year and don't have to worry about moving all my clients around a bunch and like having people have to wait 3 more months after they've already made an appointment. The universe worked out really weird on all of this. It's mind-blowing. It's insane. It's worth it though. Like, I hate to be so adamant about how much I didn't want kids, but I really truly didn't. Like, pretty much anyone that talked to me and knew me, like, I wasn't the kind of person to swoon over a baby or like want to even hold someone else's child. I'm just like, hey, cool, you exist over there, I'll exist over here. Talk to me when you're older, we'll hang out. But now that it's actually happening to me, like, I don't necessarily want to hang out with other people's kids still, but dude, I'm so fucking excited. I get to raise this little thing and teach it just everything and have him get to grow up around art and around this industry that I'm so already in love with. And this little boy's gonna grow up in a tattoo shop and going to conventions with us, and that's all really exciting. So yeah, that's pretty much how I found out and how things have been since then. We've had 2 doctor's appointments since we got back. The first one was just a stupid intake appointment where they just asked me a bunch of questions and I didn't see anyone. I just got to hear the heartbeat again, which is also amazing. Every time I hear his heartbeat, I get butterflies. It's really great. I had another appointment today, and they actually did another ultrasound, and I got to see his little face, and they proclaimed over and over again that he is in fact a boy. So definitely having a boy, which also makes me very excited. Even though I knew I didn't really want kids, I knew that I would prefer a boy over a girl, so I'm very stoked about that. It's putting a little bit of a damper in my work life, but I don't think it's going to be bad once he's here. It's just taking a month break while I'm healing is going to be a little weird because I like to work. I like my job a lot. I love tattooing. I love piercing. I love being at the shop every day. Most of my friends and family know that I'm usually working 6 to 7 days a week. So it's going to be a little bit weird for me to not be there so much at first, but he's going to be worth it. And things will go back to normal eventually. Or maybe they won't. Maybe I'll just have a new normal, but that's okay. Yeah, that's pretty much it. If there's anything I didn't cover that you want to ask, go ahead and drop it in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, and yeah, please give me other things to talk about. Like I don't really know where to go from here, but I am gonna try to keep updating. I'm trying to shoot for like Sundays and Wednesdays for videos to kind of keep it going, but I'm not always the best at keeping up on things. So yeah, I am already really thrilled with the amount of people that are following this journey with us, and I love getting to keep you all in the loop. So keep following, and please let me know if there's anything you want to know about this. I'm a first-time mom. I have a lot of questions myself, so if there's anything you want to know, please let me know. In the meantime, I'm going to keep doing what I do. I got to work here in a couple minutes, so bye. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time.